And we're back. Wow, look at that. We're alive again.
I'm alive! I'm alive! Still depressed as ever, but I'm alive!
I can relate. Man,
Oh,
what a year it's been. A year where this show didn't exist. We pretty much updated as
truly we live in the good timeline then.
I don't know, some of the other stuff in 2017 says otherwise.
I don't know. I don't think altogether this was too bad of a year. Could have been worse.
I mean, I guess besides Kevin Spacey trying to fuck kids, it wasn't that bad.
I mean, you take what you can get when it comes to good news, bad news.
There was surprisingly less, though. A lot of people fucking died this year that I didn't want to die or that I didn't realize I didn't want to die.
I guess it's at least not as cursed as last year.
Oh yeah, last year was just fucking why?
I
Yeah,
mean, I get that the clock strikes up on some people, but for it to happen to a lot of famous people at the same time, I guess threw a lot of people off.
we lost Carrie Fisher and David Bowie in the same year. I think that's more than just like
Hey, I mean that's how it goes. Sometimes there's a couple, one or two celebrity deaths in a year. Sometimes there's a bunch.
this year. Let's see, who did we lose? I'm looking up. I know we lost Chester Bennington, June Foray, Adam West.
Did we lose Daphne's original voice actress?
Yes, we did. We lost a lot of great voice talent. I know Pan Pizza did a little moment in his video, the worst animation stuff of the year.
Oh gosh.
We lost Adam West. We lost June Foray. We
Oh,
lost
that's right. We lost Adam West. Oh, that just hit again. Oh,
John Hurt died this year. I forgot that was so long ago.
um, who's that one musician that died this year?
Chester Bennington, or was there another one?
Wasn't it like Tom Petty?
Oh, Tom Petty. Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's
If I'm mistaken, forgive me, but forgive me, Tom. But I don't think I am. That's sad. I
oh,
think that's who it was.
Jake Giles died this year too.
Damn.
God, some of this
Oh,
was like,
what the fuck is wrong with us that this is the low note we start our rebirth of our show on?
yeah. Well, for every rebirth there needs to be death. Oh, Chris Cornell too. Oh, Roger Moore. I forgot about him.
Oh,
I thought these were all last year. That's why I thought this was all last year. I thought it was like, oh, I can just move on, right?
you would.
No, no, no moving on. This shit's this year. We're stuck with it for a few more days. Oh, George Romero died. Martin Lando died.
Oh my gosh, can we get off the deaths?
No,
Oh, this is starting to make me.
there is a lot of them. The guy who voiced Mr. Potato Head died. Jerry Lewis died.
Oh,
Um, let's see. Um, Hugh Hef-
man, yeah. There's. I mean,
I forgot.
it's always sad, but I mean, 'tis life, as they say.
Oh, Malcolm Young died.
Oh gosh. Okay. Let's move on to lighter notes. What are some good things that happened this year?
Lots of good movies. Like, holy shit, this was. I've heard people saying 1999 was the best year for movies because we got Matrix and Fight Club, and some people say 1939 because it was like what the Maltese Falcon, Wizard of Oz. I think
Right.
2017 is the greatest year of movies I've ever seen.
I don't know, but for all the good movies we've had this year, there's a lot of shit.
Yeah, but I think the shit wasn't nearly as bad as some other years. Like I've seen, I think
I don't know. I don't know, Michael, the Snowman.
I didn't see that one. I'm probably going to eventually because
You
I
could have you could have saved them, Mr. Policeman.
Listen, it can't be that bad. The star's name is Harry Hole,
Oh,
the greatest name any character has ever had in a work of fiction.
War of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, that came out this year?
Yeah, the
Wasn't that
least.
pretty good?
It's just, oh my gosh, why do they keep making these? I liked the first one they did a few years back. The what was that? Was that Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah,
Was that the first one of these?
yeah. I mean, I hear it was a good, I hear it's a good movie. I haven't heard anything bad about any of the new ones.
Oh, the War of the Planet of the Apes just really dragged on for me, and there was just a lot too many logical inconsistencies with things that happen. I know that movies don't have to be perfect logic, but when you just have so many inconsistencies right after another, it just, for me at least, it pulls me out of it really. But, oh gosh, but I did like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes when I saw that. Fun fact: I gave blood to see that movie.
Amazing.
Yeah, there
Steven,
was a
he's
blood drive, and it was like, oh, if you donate blood, you can get a voucher for a free movie ticket. I'm like, well, I've got nothing better to do today. I don't need all this blood. Oh, what was that? What's another bad movie that came out this year?
Let's not forget the Emoji Movie.
Oh, oh, oh,
But like,
that dark plague of a movie.
honestly, people really, it annoyed me so much. People really went overboard with how bad it is. Like, it's a bad movie. Yeah. That,
It's really bad, but I think the worst part of it is the flagrant advertising in the movie.
yeah, and that's why I just can't be that mad at it. It's just a
It's
crap.
not a You can't be mad at it for being a bad movie because it's not a bad movie. It's just a really long advertisement.
It's basically like one of those hour-long ads you sometimes get before a YouTube video, except you can't skip this, so you kind of just sit there like mumbling to yourself the whole time,
Exactly.
thinking about how you could be watching some porn right now. I mean,
Wait, there was a Resident Evil movie this year?
oh, was there? Fuck, I forgot. I don't watch the Resident Evil movies. That one didn't look too bad.
Ah, man, I haven't watched. I don't. I'm one of those fans. Like, you have the fans of the movies and you have the fans of the games, and they're like really polar on that. And
Uh,
I'm one of the fans of the games.
I've never played the games, so, but I'm not really a fan of the movies. Like, I thought the first movie was okay. I thought the second movie was decent. The third movie is where things went off the rails, and then
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to pick up any of the others. But it's not like I'm super excited to because
Right. It's
you know,
it's like watching, what was that movie? That series, Underworld or whatever.
yeah, the
It's like,
first.
oh, here's the next one.
Oh, but see, here's the thing. I thought the first couple of Underworlds were okay, but I love the third one. The third one's great because it's a prequel and it's got werewolves, and I'm a sucker for anything with werewolves in it.
Oh yeah, true. Um.
There's not a lot of good werewolf movies. They got like,
Oh, there was Underworld this movie. Okay, that's. I thought there was a Resident Evil movie too.
oh,
But
there's an Underworld movie this year. I thought that was last year.
oh man, it's just blurring together. Oh, don't forget about the upcoming Peter Rabbit movie.
I want to forget about that because it looks like someone just filmed their prolapsed anus and put it on the screen.
Oh, that's a very visceral description. Oh, what about that Netflix movie, Bright?
My brother actually saw it. He said it was pretty good. Here, I will tell you the quote from it my brother shared with me because it's the greatest quote Will Smith has ever said, according to my brother. You know what I want to die. Let's go. Titty bar gunfight.
Oh,
So I think
uh,
this movie is the highest of art, and I think everyone needs to go watch it. In fact, I should be watching it right now.
all right, everybody, grab your shaving kits because it's time to talk about Justice League.
Oh no. I
If
saw.
anyone does not understand this joke, and don't worry if you don't understand it. Okay, basically, what's the actor that plays Superman?
That it. Oh, Henry Cavill. Oh, are you talking about how Joss Whedon CGI'd his mustache away?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, For those that don't know, the actor is working on another movie at the same time they were doing Justice League for part of the reshoots, and the studio in charge of that movie was like, okay, he has to have this mustache for our movie. He cannot shave it off. He cannot shave off this mustache. And but they're like, but Superman doesn't have a mustache. What are we going to do? And Justin's like, we'll just CGI the mustache off. So if you look at
Yet
certain
another brilliant Joss Whedon decision in a superhero movie.
absolutely brilliant decision because it's just so freaking jarring looking at the CG lip.
I haven't. To be fair though, I haven't seen Justice League yet.
Oh,
Tierney has though. Tierney saw Justice League.
It's like unseasoned potato salad, just bland. But
I've been hearing stuff all across the board from that movie. Like
there's exciting parts in it, but but it's the kind of forgettable action. Like, oh, it's cool while you're watching it, but
is it at least a step up from some of the other stuff?
From some of DC's other, it's a step up from some of DC's other stuff.
Well, that's good. As long as it's a step in the right direction, then
but it's like a tiptoe baby step in the right direction.
Well, they already took a huge jump with Wonder Woman, so let's give them a break because Wonder Woman.
You know, as I say, one step forward, two steps back.
I don't know if this was a step back though, because from what I've heard other people saying, it's pretty good, if not the greatest thing.
I don't know. I think Justice League is a real step back from Wonder Woman.
But is it a huge step back or like a little maybe?
No, I really think it's a really big step back, at least in my opinion. But yeah, what I was saying, like where they shaved his lip. One tie-in product they released for Justice League was a shaving kit.
Oy vey.
Which is the most ironic thing possible. Absolutely great. Oh yeah, the villain for Justice League. Minor spoilers here. Mute for 5 seconds. But the villain. All right, for the big crossover Justice League DC movie, who do you think what villain they would use? What big villain from the comics would they use?
Obviously, Mr. Mixie's Folk.
Ha, nice.
Greatest.
League. Nah, no. Seriously though, what big villain do you think they would use?
Look, Steven, I know you're fishing for Darkseid here, but do you really think they're gonna blow their load that early?
Well, no, but there's other big villains.
Starro. I want fucking Starro, yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget some other ones like what's his name? Vandal Savage.
Oh, I feel like him would be blowing the load too, because Vandal Savage is fucking hardcore.
Yeah, but I think Darkseid is much bigger.
Is too big to use this early. I feel Vandal Savage is a little too early, but like they could have gone someone at least a moderate world threatening, like maybe I don't know.
But guess who they got? Yeah, they got the big villain for this movie is Steppenwolf.
Was he born to be wild? Did he take them on a magic carpet ride?
No. Steppenwolf is I think he's like the uncle. I think he's like Darkseid's uncle.
Yes, he is.
If I remember correctly, yeah. They have Darkseid's uncle. That's the big bad of the movie.
Yep.
Steppenwolf.
Well, to be fair, as we all know from our Thanksgiving dinners, our uncles often are the big bads.
You're not entirely wrong, but if you look at him, he looks like a generic demon from a fantasy video game.
That still sounds better than Ares with his big fucking Nigel Thornberry mustache.
The mustache. Oh my god, the mustache.
I couldn't stop giggling the whole final fight of Wonder Woman because fucking Remus Lupin with a big honkin' Nigel Thornberry mustache was the villain.
Now, if anyone needed a shave...
He should have waited for Justice League to come out. He could have gotten the shaving kit or asked Joss Whedon to use CGI or something. Joss Whedon, his magic computer airbrush that removes mustaches.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they could have got someone who's actually buff to play Ares. You know, I'm pretty sure Dwayne Johnson would like jump at the chance to be in another DC movie since Black Adam is in the waiting room.
Yeah. Oh, so how about that remake of Beauty and the Beast?
I fucking hate that movie so much. It is one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, but hey, at least it's key. At least it kept the songs.
No, because that was actually part of the problem. There is no reason you should watch this movie over the animated one because the animated one has all the same songs and all the same characters, except it has less padding and it's actually good. The only thing
Yeah,
I
but
can
but
say,
don't forget the upcoming Mulan is going to have 0 songs in it.
and I actually like that. I'm okay with that. Mulan songs kind of sucked except for that one song. You know the one. I don't even need to say it.
Be a man.
Okay, they don't suck, but they're not great. Mulan is not a movie I watch for the soundtrack.
Fair enough.
Mulan was good for like the action, even though the action was weak. So I can't wait to see what kind of action the live action movie would have. But back to Beauty and the Beast for a second. There's one reason to watch that movie, and I can't believe I'm saying this due to my rivalry with him that he never knew about. I'm so disappointed I never got an angry letter from him. But Josh Gad was the best part of Beauty and the Beast.
Who was he?
He was LeFou. He actually like LeFou was pretty entertaining in the animated one, so Josh Gad had a lot to live up to, but he actually gave LeFou a much more likable character. He easily outshone the animated one.
All right. All right. So here's a double feature. A terror, a decent show from the '80s or decades ago, made into a terrible movie this year. We have Chips and Baywatch.
Oh boy, I haven't seen either of those. Did you see either of them?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Were either
Uh,
of them at least like
Baywatch, there's a good bit of entertaining stuff in there. Like anything with you know,
Dwayne
uh,
Johnson?
yeah, anything with Dwayne Johnson, any scene with him is you know it's going to be entertaining.
He has a very good grasp
He
on
has a
comedy.
very good grasp of comedy.
Central Intelligence definitely showed that.
Yeah, but the rest of the movie, I personally felt was like a slog to get through.
Did David Hasselhoff at least show up?
You know, I honestly don't remember.
God, if he didn't, that's such a missed opportunity. I think he might have. I think I saw him in the cast list. I know Pamela Anderson was in the cast list, and you can't miss her for two very big reasons.
Two very big reasons. Yeah, and then we have Chips.
I don't know anything about Chips. What is Chips?
What was it? California Highway Patrol. I think that's what CHIP stands for.
Hmm.
But it's just kind of a cheesy cop drama show from I think the '80s. With what's his name? The guy from Cool Cat that goes, "There he is."
Eric Estrada.
Yeah, that's what he's like, most well known for is Chips.
There
And
he is.
they try. It looks like in this movie they tried to do something thematically unique. It really looks like they tried, but it's
But
just
it didn't work out.
yeah. Like I saw one article said every part of the execution was as enjoyable to watch as well in actual execution,
Hmm.
but it's just ugh, I don't know what more to say about Chips.
It's
I, I,
not funny.
I I absolutely forgot that existed until I'm looking at this list of movies again.
Oh, I got some movies we can talk about that might be a little better. For instance, this year, Hey Arnold finally got the conclusion we've been waiting over a decade for.
I've been hearing really polarized things about that.
It was a very good movie. Like, if you like Hey Arnold, you're gonna like this movie. Also, it has Alfred Molina in it, which is always a big plus because Alfred Molina, everything he touches turns to a substance that is probably valuable.
Probably.
The new voice actor for Arnold was good. They got most of the cast back except the people who were dead. There were
Right.
cameos, like pretty much every single character you could think of from the show.
Right.
The Man cameo. Motherfucking Pigeon Man is off in Paris. Those pigeons fucking flew him there.
Wow.
Oh, Arnold. Arnold's such a baller that everyone's fucking happy and successful all thanks to this like 10-year-old kid. Except Bob. Bob is fucking poor and destitute and living in the ruins of his beeper sales place.
My goodness. Let's see. Oh, a great movie I enjoyed that came out this year, Kong Skull Island.
I am so sad. That is one of the movies I am saddest I did not get to see this year.
You want Logan now?
Yes, I did.
Unlock your door.
No.
Are you masturbating?
No, I'm talking. I'm doing a live show with people. What do you mean?
If you let Logan outside the cage, why didn't you have him in here?
I forgot about him. Let me go. I'm trying.
No, it's cool. I'm curious.
I forgot about him.
Well, next time, if you do let him outside your cage and no one's here, you gotta have him here or put him back in his cage, okay?
Okay. Sorry, I had people banging on my door running in.
Yeah, I heard.
But yeah, as I said, Kong Skull Island.
Yeah. I'm actually sad I didn't get to see that this year. I really wanted to. It looked awesome.
Really? You didn't get to see it?
Yeah, it looked so good though.
I was really afraid when I first heard they were doing a new King Kong movie that it was just going to be another remake.
No, I think
Like,
that Kong actually learned from that.
Yeah, I mean, not to say that the Peter Jackson one was bad. Not to say it was bad.
I still haven't seen that either.
That was okay, but that was a slog to get through too.
Well, yeah, I think that's why I haven't watched that one because it's like 3 hours long.
The first half of the movie is just a slog to get through. It just takes so forever to get to anything interesting happening. But Kong Skull Island gets you to the island, like what it was like 10, 20 minutes in. They introduce the characters, they give us a good sense of their motivations, and then we get to the island.
And there we go, bam.
Simple, clean. I mean, they really learned. The studio really learned from Godzilla 2014, which I like that movie a lot, but I recognize a good number of the flaws with it, and that's one thing is the story, and another thing is the pacing, like the story and characters. Like we care a little bit about the characters, but we don't know too much about to really care about them. And it just takes forever to get to, Godzilla. It takes a long time, which I understand. A lot of the older Godzilla movies took a while to get to Godzilla.
Yeah.
But Kong Skull Island, as soon as we get to the island, they start dropping their instruments and their stuff down, and then they look in the distance and you hear a guy say, "Is that a monkey?" And then there he is. There's Kong. And he starts doing King Kong shit, and it is great. And then once they are crashed on the island, they have to survive the island, go through the island. We see sprinkles of Kong throughout, but enough to not where he's, throughout the entire film kind of overstaying his welcome, but enough that we don't forget about him.
Well, that's how it should be.
It's a really excellent film. I really recommend it if you love, if you're a fan of King Kong or if you're a fan of kaijus in general. You're just a giant monster fan. That'll be great. But and it's really setting up for what's to come, because they're doing another Godzilla movie. They're bringing in some of the other monsters like Mothra and Rodan.
Yeah, I heard about the ending thing where
Yeah, that's not spoiled for those who haven't seen it, but
the big crossover coming up.
yeah, just like all these other things, Rodan, King Ghidorah. Who knows what other kaiju they're throwing in, or what new kaiju we could be seeing. And then of course, there's the big King Kong versus Godzilla movie that's going to be coming out in a few years.
I think it's coming out 2020, which is even better.
Right, but unfortunately, I think the director for that is the same director for another bad movie this year. If you remember, Death Note.
Well, I actually haven't got a chance to see that yet either because I just got Netflix back, even though we had Netflix over Thanksgiving break, and I tried to get Tierney to watch it, but every night she'd say, "No, I don't want to watch it."
I mean,
Let's see, has this guy directed anything good? You're Next.
I
I
don't know.
heard that was pretty good. I think. Yeah, You're Next. I heard was good. And
Right. On YouTube, you might want to block somebody
block somebody.
if you look at the chat.
Uh-oh. What's in the chat?
But you don't see it?
No, what is it? Is it this group chat here?
The live chat
Oh, where is it?
on the YouTube, on the video itself. Get your shit together, Michael. Be a professional.
I can't. I've never been a professional a day in my life.
Oh, great. Anyways, some other good movie. But oh yeah, we're going back to Death Note. That was another one we forgot to mention.
Oh, who the fuck is this and where did... What?
But Death Note. Okay, I don't even know where to begin on this. I guess I'll say what I liked about it. Even though they really messed up the characterization of Ryuk, he had a really good design for a live action movie, and William Dafoe was excellent.
So I've heard.
I mean, it's an excellent performance. They got the characterization wrong, but it's still an excellent performance. And then the actor, I forget his name, who played L. Of course, same thing. They got the character wrong completely, but still an excellent performance for what material was given. And I gotta say, even Light, his performance was all right for what they gave him. The actor did an okay job playing the character, even though the character was shit. They did a good job playing the character. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Kind of. Yeah. I can.
I mean, you can still have a bad character that's well performed.
That's true.
Where the writing and the directing was shit, but the actor was trying.
It happens a lot more than you'd think.
Yep. Less than you'd hope. What are good movies? Didn't Lego Batman movie come out this year?
Yeah, and I didn't much care for that one.
Really?
I thought it was okay. I think it's one of the better animated Batman. Or actually, I think it's one of the more low tier. I think it's better than The Killing Joke, definitely, and it's better than Mask of the Phantasm. But I felt like the crossover.
Hey! Don't talk shit about Mask of the Phantasm. Come on, it's classic.
I didn't like it. I felt like that movie was just like a long episode of the show, and I didn't like how it gave Joker a definitive origin. And
Fair enough.
I don't like that how the Tim Burton movie did that too, but
Fair enough.
I let that one.
They left his origin kind of vague. Like nobody knows his true name, or the only thing they know is that he was in a gang. That's literally the only thing anyone knows about him.
I still don't. It just doesn't sit right with me for Mark Hamill's Joker, at least. I prefer his Joker to just be like, just this random asshole who just came out one day to,
Fair enough.
Like his entrance into the series was riding on a Christmas tree. That's how he should be.
Absolutely.
I don't need to think of him as some gangster, but yeah, I didn't hate the Lego Batman movie. I thought it was pretty good. There were some good jokes. I liked all the actors. It felt more like another big Lego crossover movie because they crammed in all the other stuff, and I did like it. It just made the movie feel disjointed and like they crammed two movies together. They could have focused a lot more on Batman's own characters than, throwing in Lord Voldemort and
Yeah, and what you're saying about being a big movie, I've heard a big episode of Phantasm. Same thing we said of what was it, Lego Ninjago movie? I've heard a lot of people say that was like one long episode.
I hear some people say it's not a bad episode. I know Pan Pizza said a lot of good things about it.
Right. I mean, if something feels like an episode of the show but longer, I mean that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not a great thing either. I mean, you're getting more of the same content, but you're not getting something spectacular, movie worthy.
There are a few movies I've seen where it's like a long episode that I think it's worth it. Like the Hey Arnold movie I mentioned earlier is definitely like a long episode of the show, but I think that works a lot better because it still has that grand feeling. Like,
right. I heard that the My Little Pony movie was like a lot of people said it felt like just a long episode.
Yes, but it was a very good episode. Like that's how you do it. That's how you do a long episode.
I guess I don't know. I'm not a big brony. I'm not a brony. I'm not a fan. My biggest like towards My Little Pony is that I think it's decent, and if I had to watch it by babysitting somebody's child, I wouldn't suffer.
Movie was really good, really good. I think the new animation style was a little weird at times.
Did they stick with Flash, or did they try to do like traditional animation? What did they do?
I'm actually not sure. I think yeah, I'm not positive what they did, but man, they did some pretty neat things with it. Had a lot of great music, a lot of great oh man, the villain was great. Not the one played by Liv Schreiber, unfortunately. His villain was pretty much a huge letdown, but the one played by Emily Blunt was great. She got a great villain song. She was a really interesting and compelling character.
I do remember seeing some concept art for the movie that was really interesting.
Oh yeah, they had a ton of like ideas.
Like a lot of the concept art was drawn in a way that made it look like it came out like a Dungeons and Dragons guidebook. I'm like, why is this so intricate for a little girl's pony movie? I'm not saying that in a bad way, but
yeah, they.
Right.
Let's see what.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm trying to think. On the topic of animation, there was pretty much only one company that did really well this year.
Oh, really?
DreamWorks. I think DreamWorks released 2 movies this year, and for once, both of them were actually really good.
What was the other movie?
Well, there was Captain Underpants, obviously.
Oh, and yeah, I want to see that so bad. I've been meaning to see that movie.
If you like the books, you're going to like the movie. It's basically the first 4 books mashed into one story.
Which is fine.
Except
do they give enough attention to the books? Like, we're not talking a series of unfortunate events movie kind of deal?
No. They keep all the stuff you want. Basically, it's got the setup and origin of the first book, which is the good part of the first book because the first book had a really weak villain. It has.
Yeah, but it wasn't supposed to have a strong villain. It was just about a crazy guy running around in his underwear.
Well, yeah, that's true, but they have that here. Except there is a strong villain because it's Professor Poopy Pants. They
Still one of
changed
my favorite villains from the books.
instead of keeping the name Pippy P Poopy Pants, they changed it to Professor Diarrhea Stain Poopy Pants. Um, so his I think his Professor Diarrhea Stain PP Poopy Pants is now his name, I believe. And he is voiced by Nick Kroll, who you might know as the douche from Sausage Party.
Nick
or
Kroll is
something else.
he's
Oh, you might
decent.
know him from his 2017 hit show Big Mouth.
Oh no, oh gosh, Big Mouth.
Save it for a little bit. But yeah, so Captain Underpants, it's a very good movie. It's very fun, and somehow they managed.
I love that. I love that joke that I've seen screenshots of that talking about the tiny school to reflect the tiny students with their tiny teachers with their tiny budget or their tiny salaries.
If you think that's funny, just wait. That movie had me cracking up. It is a good movie, very good movie.
Didn't Weird Al do the theme song?
Yes, he did. It plays over the end credits, and it's come full circle because in the first book they mentioned George and Harold played Weird Al. And
amazing.
They actually change up the animation style quite a few times. They do like soft puppets. There's
one last bad movie I want to talk about is, of course, Alien Covenant.
You saw it? Oh. I've heard a lot. My friend saw it. My best friend Vicky. She saw it and she said it was hilariously bad.
It's just so awful. Oh my god. Nothing in that movie makes sense. Nothing. There's not a single thing in that movie that makes sense. And there's just one thing is there's no character set up. No, we don't know anything about characters. There's nothing that shows who these characters are, their motivations or anything. But they did film those scenes. They did film scenes of the crew interacting together and, character development and stuff like that. You know where you can find those scenes? On YouTube. They release them as bonus features on YouTube. Not in the movie, but as bonus stuff, bonus material.
That's bullshit.
What the hell? I mean, how are we supposed to care about these characters if we didn't take the time to go look it up on YouTube? All the stuff we need to care about the characters, there's a gay couple and you don't know that until like one of them's mourning their dead husband who just died by the alien. You don't know that they're a couple, but like you'll see the footage of them that really kind of sets that up, and it's just that's just one of the many bad things. They try to pull one of the most cliche twist endings.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, it was like stretching you out for a second.
Okay, they tried to get away with one of the most cliche twists possible.
What was it?
Can you take a guess of what kind of cliche twist ending they could have done?
It was all just a dream.
Oh, that would have been the most cliche, but no. Okay, there's two robots that look just like each other because they're the same model. And one of them's their good robot, and the other one's the evil robot that created the aliens because they had to retcon the fact that the Prometheans or whatever created the aliens. No, it's the robot. The robot made the aliens.
What?
Yeah, they're not aliens. They're made by a robot.
What?
Yeah, but so you have the evil robot that made the aliens, and you have the cruise robot. And at the very end of the movie, the two have a fight at one part in the movie, and you don't know who won. So they tried to pull the it was really the evil one who made it back with the crew.
Oh, so it's like the ending of Thriller?
Yeah, where they go into the sleep pods at the end, and then you see, oh, it's actually the evil robot. He's the one that won the fight.
Lame. That is just lame.
How dumb did they think their audience was?
Very apparently.
If you tried that back in the 80s or the 70s, that could have worked.
I don't know. I think they'd probably think it's kind of lame back then too.
That thing would have been, well, I wouldn't say worked, but it would have been more acceptable back then. But today, that's so incredibly cliche. That's like, oh, did I kill the evil? I killed the evil twin. You did it. And then walking away, oh no, he was the evil twin all along. Oh, Alien Covenant, what the fuck? Oh yeah, don't forget the fact that
let me go on to
these people going to the alien planet are supposed to be, colonists trying to find a different planet. They end up at the wrong planet. They end up at this other planet. But okay, so if you were to go to an alien planet, how would you go down there?
In a suit, obviously.
Yeah, guess what they didn't do? These colonists are supposed to be going to an alien planet, land on an unknown planet they didn't even do scans of because there's storm keeping their scanning equipment from scanning the planet. So they go down to this unknown planet, no suit. I think they did have suits, but they immediately took them off. And this dude steps on a plant that causes an alien spore to go up his nose, and that's how he gets infected with the alien. What is storytelling?
Not something that Ridley Scott remembers how to do.
Oh man, the Alien Covenant's making me mad. Let's talk about a good movie.
All right. I'll go back to the other good movie DreamWorks delivered us this year, Boss Baby, which is a shock to everyone but someone who appreciates B-movie like I do. Except Boss Baby was actually as emotional as a Pixar movie could get.
I saw Boss Baby, and I thought it was all right.
The ending honestly makes the movie a lot more emotional than it could have been. Also,
I guess. I mean, I would like. I'm not going to say it's a terrible movie. Like a lot of people look at it and say that's movie's terrible, and I honestly thought so when I first started watching it that this movie was just going to be absolutely garbage, and then I end up getting a decent movie.
I honestly like it a lot more than a lot of stuff Pixar's done in the past few years. It was I don't know. I just thought the humor was pretty good, and it was just maybe it's because I kind of relate to it on a level because I was a pretty imaginative kid myself. So this is probably it's the kind of movie I would make. I would make a movie about a fucking talking baby.
And it's based on a book.
Well, yeah, I know.
Based on a kid's book, but
I would make a movie about a talking Donald Trump baby. Fucking.
I love that you went Donald Trump on that.
Listen, I didn't make the joke in my review. I had to do it at one point. I'm like obligated contractually to.
Another surprising movie I saw this year, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh yeah, Homecoming was a lot better than it could have been.
Oh yeah, I mean, coming off of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Oh god.
This film's great. I mean, not as. I mean, it's on. I would say less than par with the original Spider-Man movies.
I'd say it's at least it's a couple of steps down from 2, but not much.
Yeah.
Not like huge steps.
Right.
Like,
but,
it was a really good movie. It had a really great villain performance. I'd say that Michael Keaton's Vulture is at least as good as Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus and Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin.
Oh, absolutely.
Michael Keaton made the movie.
Absolutely. The Vulture, that was such an interesting choice to go for a main villain.
They took one of the lamest comic book villains ever and turned him into Walter White with a jetpack. That's the most,
it's great. It works so well.
yeah, it's amazing. And I actually figured out that problem everyone had with the timeline actually isn't a problem. You know, like the whole 8 years later thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like people were working under the conceit that the movies came out in the year that the movies take place.
Right.
But if you look at it like Thor and the first couple of Iron Mans, they take place over like the span of maybe a year,
Yeah.
two at most, then the timeline starts to match up because then the Avengers would take place in like
I
2009.
I do love that that the movie does a good job of both being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and at the same time just being a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, it did a good job with that too. Iron Man, I was worried he would overstay his welcome, but he actually
No,
wasn't.
they kept him to a few key appearances. They used Iron Man only when needed, which was
I'm
great.
glad Pepper Potts showed up again too. I was happy to see her.
Oh yeah.
She's definitely one of the better love interests in the Marvel universe. Definitely better than fucking Natalie Portman. Glad they wrote her out. One thing I did not like, even disregarding who it's revealed she is, Zendaya's character was fucking awful. She was a bitch.
Yeah, I didn't like her character too much. I mean, actress, what's her name?
Zendaya. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, sure she's a real.
she was fine. She was fine, but the character, I didn't like how the character was written.
Yeah, her cat like I'm sure she was just going with what she did, but ugh, it was not a good one at all. She was
Eh,
okay.
she was okay in my opinion, but and there were some really good shots and scenes in the movie, like the scene with the boat. That was just a really good shot
Yes.
where he's holding the boat together. That's just a really good shot, and I mean, I love the whole ending part, the climatic battle. It's just it was just really good. See what other good superhero movies? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Ooh, yeah, that was a good one. That was the very best Marvel movie of the year, I think. It was.
Well, I don't know. Have you seen Thor Ragnarok?
Yes, I did, and we can get to that in a minute, but Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is just everything I could want from a superhero movie.
Okay, I gotta ask you though, did you feel that Baby Groot overstayed his welcome?
Not really. I honestly don't remember too much of the stuff he did.
I mean, for me, it was on the cusp. It just almost got to the point where I was tired of seeing Baby Groot. Just the silly shenanigans of Baby Groot. It got to the point where I was almost tired of it, but not quite. I don't know. That's how I feel.
What?
What?
I'm
Did you
not
hear me?
going to. Yeah. Hey, stop adding irrelevant commentary. Come on. I'm letting him talk. Jesus, do you want me to take up the whole conversation?
What does she want to talk about?
Hey, what do you want to talk about? Because I'm wanting. Do you want me to talk over him? Well, yeah, and I will make comments. Oh my God, Tierney. Well, look, at least this isn't as bad as when your mom or whatever came in and asked if you were beating your meat like Dark Side Phil.
Oh God.
Okay, so
That wasn't my mom. That was my brother.
oh, that was your brother. It sounded like a woman.
I'll tell him you said that.
No,
Anyways,
oh, no. I think he's materializing behind me with a gun.
oh my gosh. Okay, other good movies.
Oh yeah, Thor. Obviously, Thor was really good.
Before we go to Thor,
It. Oh man, that is my second favorite movie of all time, behind Guardians 2, and like it just not since Watchmen or Lord of the Rings has a completely unfilmable novel been filmed in a way that is totally true to the source while also being great in its own right.
Can I tell you the only thing I didn't like about the movie?
What was it?
Pennywise's design.
You didn't like that? I
didn't feel like that. I didn't like that he was just too overly creepy looking.
I mean, he's a clown who eats children.
Yeah, but I like the idea of this completely normal looking clown being a terrible monster, just an average sweet looking clown. That's the only thing I liked from the original It movie. That's the only thing I really liked. Was just the silly looking clown, like he just looks like a normal clown that you'd see at the circus. He doesn't look like a creepy monster. And
I mean, I feel like the two, it's easy to compare them in that way, but the end result of what Pennywise does is still the same because his whole purpose is to instill fear.
Right, but I find it more terrifying that you have this normal clown that's the monster. I find that more terrifying that this normal looking thing, like being in places you would expect to see a clown. I mean, it's just personally that works better for me than I'm like I'm saying, if that's my only complaint about the movie.
Still a good movie. I don't even think Pennywise was the best part. I think he's one of the best parts, but the best part is definitely Richie, which is surprising because he's annoying shit in the book.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad there's some things in the book they didn't keep.
Yeah, yes. I am so glad the Surgy didn't happen. That was look, Stephen King was high on coke through most of the 80s. Like, I don't think he even remembers
through the 80s. I think he's still on coke. Like,
no, he got clean, thank God. But that means we'll never get Maximum Overdrive 2, which is a shame.
Some consequences, man. Okay, so
Thor?
What?
Thor?
Thor.
Thor was a good.
Thor.
He had the hammer.
I enjoyed Thor Ragnarok. I thoroughly enjoyed Thor Ragnarok.
Jeff Goldblum was in it, so it's pretty much a 10 out of 10, but I have to deduct a point because, geez, what was it I didn't like? Oh, I guess the villain, not many of the villains were as like, while this is probably the second best Marvel movie of the year, I feel like it was a step down in terms of villains because none of the villains really got as fleshed out as Vulture Ego did.
Right.
I mean, Hela was great. Grandmaster was great. Surtur was great, but none of them got the screen time or attention or like the fleshed out backstories. They just got really good actors given really good performances.
But you don't know too much about the villains to understand their motives.
I mean, obviously Grandmaster is the best of all the characters because he's Jeff Goldblum in like a fucking glitzy robe, and he's clearly
what I love right now is that I'm looking at the movie list and it has Thor Ragnarok listed as comedy.
It did have quite a bit of comedy.
Yes, it did. It didn't have a good bit of action, but it did have comedy. And you know, a lot of people were saying that the Thor movies were taking themselves too seriously.
This is the right way to do it.
I feel like this is kind of like the counter. Like they don't. I don't think they plan on doing any more Thor movies just about Thor. That this is the end of the Thor trilogy.
No,
so
I think Taika Waititi said he might come back. He was definitely game for coming back to do more Thor. So maybe I think they should definitely let him do more Thor movies because I think he has a good understanding of what.
I don't know about a Thor movie. Maybe a Loki movie.
Either way, I think Taika Waititi definitely has a good grasp of what a Thor movie should be. It should be a big, cheesy, throwback space adventure movie. It shouldn't be some overly serious drama like Kenneth Branagh did or a huge fucking piece of shit like whoever directed Thor 2 did.
Now, personally, I I'm not going to say I love Thor 2. I did like watching it. When I've watched it, I don't want to watch it again. But when I watched it, I liked it.
I felt the same way, but then I watched it again, and that's when it happened.
That's
I
probably
really,
why I don't want to watch it again.
but
Because I'm
yes,
sure if I watched it again, I would probably hate it.
Thor Ragnarok, good movie. It was
Oh,
better.
absolutely, absolutely. All right. So, if we're going to talk about one last movie, we're going to talk about the most polarizing movie of the year.
Oh no, are we going to talk about the Disaster Artist? That one's not polarizing.
You know that's not what I was going to talk about at all, but sure, let's take a moment to talk about The Disaster Artist.
I think that is one of the best movies of the year. I can't believe how good it was.
I feel like some of the performance was off. Like, I guess that's when you get, when it sometimes happens when you get an actor slash director.
Well, considering the person he's playing, a person who is just constantly off from the norm, I think it was.
Yeah.
I thought his performance was pretty. It was weird in all the right ways. It was weird and awkward and strange, just like Tommy Wiseau himself. He did the man justice.
Fair enough. I just feel like
I
the
think we all.
performance. I feel like the performance of the whole movie was down in tone from where it needed to be. If you get what I'm saying.
I don't know. I feel like it was in the right place. It's kind
I
of
don't
like,
know. All right, but that's not the movie I was going to talk about. And
yeah, you're gonna bring up Star Wars, right?
Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
A movie that, look, I understand what you mean by how polarizing it is because I walked out disappointed and then the next day I loved it, even though I still hated Scuts.
This movie,
It's my,
there's such a
it's my
strong like and hate about it from the general audience. So many people love this movie, and so many people hate it. This is
yeah,
one of the most polarizing films I have seen.
the best way I can describe it right now, it's in my top 25 favorite movies, but the way I describe it, it's my favorite movie that I hate 20% of. Like, I hate a bunch of stuff they did in this movie, but there's so much stuff in it that I love too.
And you know what? I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I'll tell you why. The reason why I enjoyed this movie is a reason why the people that hate it because of how different it was.
See, here's the thing. I didn't really think it was that different.
Well, I
That
mean,
it's
a lot of people's criticism over The Force Awakens is that it almost felt just like a beat for beat retread of the first Star Wars movie.
there's a little merit to that, but I also feel like that's unfair too. Like, honestly, most of the Star Wars movies on their basic levels are very similar. You can find similar patterns in pretty much all six, seven movies.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's like poetry. It rhymes, as George Lucas would say.
yep, pretty much. I mean, obviously, some movies did the patterns better than others. I'm not gonna
But
pretend like
I,
Phantom Menace is equal to The Empire Strikes Back, but
and you know, I do like how different this movie is, and like I said, it does feel like a different movie than what you would expect from a Star Wars movie.
yeah, I mean, I'm going into a Star Wars movie. I never expected Luke Skywalker to walk up to a giant alien walrus titty, just milk it into a baby bottle, and just slurp that titty milk down right in front of Ray, and then smack his lips with a pleasant face. Like, yeah, that's some good titty milk.
Obviously, Mark Hamill's favorite performance of the year.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's funny you say that though, because he apparently hated a lot of the stuff the director or the writer or whoever did with his character. He like
Yeah.
disagreed with everything, but he still gave it his all. And like, by
Oh
God,
yeah,
I thought Luke's performance and character, or Mark Hamill's performance and Luke's character, both were good. I liked what Luke they did with Luke in this movie and turned him into a jaded old man.
absolutely. one thing I'll say that I'll give a positive towards the movie is I'm glad they didn't shove the porg in as much as they could.
Yes, that was good.
That there wasn't too much porg. More than there should have been. I mean, they shouldn't have had the porg at all. It's obviously a character made to sell toys and T-shirts.
It's funny because it's actually a character that was made to cover up the puffins that kept wandering onto the set.
Really?
Yeah, the island they were filming on with the scenes with Luke, there were endangered puffins that kept wandering into the shots, and they couldn't remove them because they're endangered. So the director was like, "Hey, let's just CGI some aliens over them," and that's what they did.
Huh.
So
And that
they,
just led to the porg, but I still feel like the porg really feels like a character that was like because like they've merchandised the hell out of the porg if you haven't noticed.
oh yeah, so I mean that obviously did play a factor, but I do think that it's definitely better than Ewoks.
Yeah, I mean, I do love some of the things they did with the porg. Like, I love the little shot where you see it like nesting in parts of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, that was nice. I like how Chewbacca went from like roasting them and trying to eat them to just befriending them all.
Yeah, I do like some of that stuff. Like, I mean, I like the idea, like, because if you did have a vehicle like that, those kind of animals would, get on there and start nesting in the crevices,
Yeah.
kind of
Uh,
like rats do.
Here's something I like about the movie. I liked how Hux just right from the beginning gets turned into the fucking biggest joke, and then the rest of the movie everyone's slapping him around like he's the space version of Mr. Bean.
It's great.
He just get he's just a fucking miserable pasty ass space Nazi ginger, and he just keeps getting the shit smacked out of him at every turn. Like I don't think there's a single point in that movie where he is not being shit on by the universe, and it is
I
just
know.
hilarious. Like the whole
And
the only it's sad because the only competent first order officer got blown up in the first 10 minutes because that old crusty guy who was running the dreadnought, who was an awesome character. I loved that guy, even though he was only there for like 10 minutes before dying. He was great.
can I say how much I hated the Admiral?
Uh,
The of
oh,
the resistance of the
oh, are you talking about Haldo,
yeah, I think that's her name, right?
the purple hair bitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had the worst characterization for a character they were trying to play as a hero, but she had the most heroic moment of anyone in the film, I
She
think.
had a heroic moment, but it felt really shoved in because they were playing her like an absolute bitch the entire time. The entire
No,
time they were playing her like an absolute bitch, and then at the
no,
very last moment they made her a hero.
I don't care. That moment was the fucking coolest thing in Star Wars ever. I don't
Oh,
give a
oh,
shit.
don't get me wrong. That was a really cool scene,
I
but
don't think I've ever seen a heroic sacrifice that cool in a movie.
yeah, but I mean that's a really cool scene, but it just really felt like this was really horned in to make her look like a hero. I mean,
I mean, the fact she was in the Resistance and like friends with Leia, I guess should have hinted you in.
I don't know. She just they really played her up as this bitch, and
To be fair, I did think she was a traitor at the after her first scene with Poe. So I don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
yeah, it was just really weird. All right, so that was the most. I really gotta say that's the most polarizing movie of the year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Probably
Uh,
one of the most polarizing films of the past few years.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie that has split audiences like this before. Some people say it's shit, some people say it's great. Me, I say it is a great movie that I also hate the guts of in a lot of ways. I
All right.
definitely I definitely think if you think it should be removed from canon that you're a huge fucking pussy.
Yeah, those people are really weird. All right. So So that was this year in movies. Can I let me give a quick shout out to, since this wasn't a movie, let's talk about 2 TV shows.
Oh boy.
First, let's talk about a bad TV show. Bad cartoon. I think you know which one I'm talking about. We mentioned it earlier.
Oh no, is it Powerpuff Girls?
I'm never talking about that show again. What the
We're not
fuck?
gonna
Why
talk
did they add in a
about
4th
Bliss.
Powerpuff Girl? What the fuck? Okay,
We're
I'm
not gonna
sorry.
talk about Bliss. We're not gonna talk about Long Legs.
We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk instead about Big Mouth.
Oh, Big Mouth.
A show that could have been funny in some ways, but you clearly can't tell who the show is aimed at. This is a show where I do not know who the audience is supposed to be. Because they set it up as it's supposed to be, these kids going through puberty in this awkward time, so it feels like a show aimed at, like, it feels like a crude show aimed at, like, 13, 14-year-olds. But at the same time, they have so much adult humor that kids wouldn't get, or people in that age group wouldn't get. And the characters sound sound and act like small adults. Even like the smallest character, who's supposed to be like the whole thing about him is that he's going through his puberty is very delayed, and he sounds like a grown man.
See, I've never sat down to watch it because the show just looks so ugly. I don't think I could.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you can get over that, which is incredibly hard to, you still got a show that's very mediocre. And I like some of the ideas. Like, I have to agree with I Hate Everything. I like the idea of a hormone monster, of somebody, of like this characterization of a physical manifestation of someone's hormones as a monster would have been great, but they didn't know how to work that into the rules of the universe, because apparently everyone is visited by the same hormone monster who's existed since the dawn of Earth, because a giant alien fucked the Earth. Because they had to get a Scientology joke in there. Like, it would have been great if this was this character's like mental manifestation of his anxiety over his hormones. That would have been interesting, and that would have been more funny to use with that.
Why did they make a Scientology joke? They do realize that it's kind of old hat at this point, yeah?
Yeah. But there's just so many things in this, like, this show. Of course, the big mouth, the just the absolute horrid animation. So that was a bad show from the. Let's talk about a good one then. Have you seen Troll Hunters?
Is that Netflix show?
Yeah, and it's DreamWorks too.
No, but I have heard of it. Doesn't Guillermo del Toro produce it?
Yeah, he produces and he's directed some of the episodes, and he wrote this. This was originally a pitch he had for a live action movie, and that he ended up nobody would pick it up, so he ended up making a book out of it.
Man, that's lame.
And Netflix, Dreamcast was going to do it as a movie, animated movie, but then they ended up doing it as a show, and it's a really great show. It's one of the best
I might have to check it
cartoons.
out.
It's one of the best cartoons I've watched in years. It has everything I want in a cartoon. And one of the last great performances of the
anime cat girls in it.
no.
So I guess it doesn't have everything you want, huh?
Everything I want in a Western cartoon, Michael.
Oh, okay.
Everything I want in a Western animation. Come on. Of course, it's one of the best performances from the late actor Anton Yelchin.
Yes, oh yeah, he is in that movie, isn't he?
He's in the show, yeah. Apparently, they recorded basically most of his voice work for both season 1 and season 2 before he passed away.
Hmm.
And Guillermo del Toro didn't want to throw out his hard work.
That reminds me of what they did with Carrie Fisher's entire performance in
Yeah.
the new Star Wars. He didn't want her to just die when he could have logically had her, so it just kept the whole performance in.
It was an interesting decision. Okay.
Speaking of TV,
So
though,
so this year has been a very interesting year for movies, hasn't it?
yes, it has. We didn't even mention all of them. You didn't even mention Power Rangers. I figured you, of all people, would have mentioned that one.
I didn't want to. I didn't
Why
want to
not?
mention that movie. Okay, I'm going to go over this movie quickly. I'll describe it in one way. This is very much an 11th hour film.
What?
This is very much an 11th hour film.
What does that mean?
That means nothing happens until like the very end of the movie.
Oh, what are you talking about? The movie was like a great character-driven film throughout the whole thing.
Right,
It had a
but
big.
do people go to Power Rangers wanting a character-driven story?
No, I went to it expecting a huge piece of shit, and I got a great movie.
Well, I did not think it was great at all. Okay, I do like stuff that they did with some of the characterization. I do like that, but it takes it till the very end of the movie for them to actually be Power Rangers. It takes it till the very end before they finally become the Power Rangers. And you know why? Because the suit effects were so expensive that they couldn't afford to do it throughout the movie.
Well, hey, let's wait for the. Well, hey, then what about the sequel?
Huh, maybe.
If they get a sequel, I think they might be able to do a lot better because the movie sold really well on video, apparently. So,
Maybe. But and there's a good number of other problems, but the whole thing is actually, if you pay attention, it's just an extended version of the first episode of Power Rangers.
except this time the teenagers actually have attitude.
More like attitude problems.
Yeah, but that's what makes them interesting. I did not expect a great character-driven storyline from a Power Rangers movie. I expected a bunch.
Well, here's the thing. They still could have done that and still had action. I mean, look at Pacific Rim.
Look at Pacific Rim. What am I looking at?
I mean, that was a movie that had character-driven stuff. It still had story. It was still setting up the world and everything. But at the same time, they did have action throughout the film.
Hmm.
It wasn't until the very end. And can I say how much I hate some of the sound design in this movie?
What was
As
wrong?
much as you want to say the actors, the acting, and the character-driven story, which is fine, one of the unforgivable things for me is just the sound design in this movie. And I'll give you one of the biggest offenders has to be the the part where they start playing the theme. They cut back, and it's like no one man should have all this power.
Oh my.
Why would you
I don't know. I still like it.
theme start playing? Come on,
I still liked it.
Power Rangers of the through this awesome fight and every
Break it up again.
Power Rangers. What was it?
You were breaking up again. Oh, hold on.
Am I cutting out? Can you hear me?
Yep, it's fine now.
Okay, but I was like, they go, it was like no one man should have all of this power. Ha ha! I get it. Power Rangers. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of cynical about these things. But as I could say, I could sum up the movie in one thing. It's like Krispy Kreme presents Saban's Power Rangers.
Man, you are cynical about that movie. Damn.
That's really how I could sum it up. Is Krispy Kreme presents, because they I don't know why their major sponsor for this movie, the major people giving them money for this movie was Krispy Kreme. To the point
I don't
where
know, but
Krispy Kreme is featured prominently in the movie.
listen, that scene where Rita Repulsa walks into the Krispy Kreme and eats the donut while the fucking monster destroys everything, that cured my depression.
Oh no, that is silly and that's fine, but it just feels like that's one of those sponsors. Like, did you know that there was a lot of Krispy Kreme promotion of Power Rangers, of Power
Oh
Rangers,
my.
of the Power Rangers movie? There was
Incredible.
a lot of they had special Power Rangers donuts.
Iconic.
Yeah, it's like one of the weirdest partners you can get for your movie. I don't know, but okay, so that was this year in movies. And while we did have some bad movies, this was a pretty good year for movies. And also, this was a great year for video games.
Was it?
I would think so. I mean, let's see. Let's start off with a good one. How about Cuphead?
Oh yeah, I hear that's a good one.
I mean, as a fan of movies and animation, I mean, you got to be interested in that, right?
Yeah, I haven't played too many new video games this year, but Cuphead did look really good. Oh man, I really want to play that game.
I mean, didn't that win an award for best art design, if I remember correctly?
It deserves it.
Oh wait! I gotta stop this right here because I'm looking at this list of video games and they have Star Wars Battlefront 2, but the
Oh
picture they have.
god,
Wait, let me
must.
finish. The picture they have for it is for Battlefront 2 Classic, and that's absolutely hilarious. They're showing the 2000 something Battlefront 2 instead of the actual picture for EA Battlefront 2. They used the wrong picture. Holy crap! That's freaking hilarious.
That's sad. That's just sad.
They actually okay, but yeah, Cuphead. I think the Game Awards it won best art design,
It deserves.
which it deserved it. I mean, have you looked at that game? Do you know all that nice animation was hand drawn?
Really? Then
That's all. That's all hand drawn. That entire game is hand drawn animation,
no, that's what I call impressive.
and the music is excellent, top tier as well. I mean, the whole thing really captures those 40s, 50s cartoons. It really captures the essence of rubber hose animation.
That is a very good thing.
I mean, um, then we go into let's see, one of the most surprising games this year, surprisingly good games, was Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Oh yeah, I was surprised at how good that people said that turned out to be.
I mean, when I first heard it that they were doing a Mario Rabbids crossover RPG, this was like when stuff was being leaked, and people that was a rumor going around. I was started thinking, what the hell? What the absolute hell? And then the screenshots get or the design documents get leaked, or like some kind of like advertisement document
Oh
gets
shit, you're
leaked.
breaking
And
up again.
you hear me now? How am I now?
Yep.
Or when design stuff got leaked for it, a lot of people, so many people, just automatically dismissed this game. They automatically dismissed it as going to be shit. Nobody wanted to give this game a chance when they first saw these pictures of it. But then at Ubisoft's presentation, and again at when they showed uh, Switch games at Nintendo's presentation, when we got a further look at this game, gosh, did it look surprisingly good. Plus, I gotta add to the fact that Grant Kirkhope composed the soundtrack for this game. One of my absolute favorite video game composers. Michael, you still there?
Yeah, sorry.
Make sure I'm not losing you. But and this game is surprisingly good. In fact, I believe it won Best Strategy game.
Which one was it?
Mario and Rabbids won Best Strategy.
That is impressive. You never think Mario would win Best Strategy game.
Well, the game is basically an XCOM kind of game. A strategy, a tactical strategy RPG with it's really good. The movement mechanics in this game is great. It's a surprisingly good game. And I know earlier we talked about one of the most polarizing movies of the year. Well, you know what I gotta say is one of the most polarizing games of the year?
Oh, hold on a sec. I gotta go grab my charger.
Uh-oh. Man, but Mario and Rabbids, geez. Everything about that game should not have worked. From all the character designs of the new Rabbids and all this crazy wacky stuff like Mario with a gun. None of it should have worked. But somehow it did. Somehow they found a way to make Mario with a gun and Rabbids work.
Mario.
I know. Are you back?
Yeah. Mario
All right.
is my favorite character in Marvel Comics.
Amazing. But so one of the most polarizing, what I think is one of the most polarizing games of the year has to be Yooka-Laylee.
Oh, I thought for sure you were going to say Star Wars Battlefront.
Well, no, that game is while there's a decent multiplayer experience buried under the lags and just the terrible netcode. The game is just utter trash with its pay-to-win mechanics being an integrated part into the system of the game. To the point where they couldn't permanently remove that stuff. That's just absolutely ingrained into the game. Like, progression is completely locked behind loot boxes, whether it be with real money or in-game currency. The entire progression of the game is locked behind loot boxes. But enough about that. Yooka-Laylee. That definitely has to be an incredibly polarizing game where everyone either likes it or hates it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what I've seen of it.
Which I don't know what people were expecting. When I was told, oh, we're going to make a game that's like Banjo-Kazooie, I was expecting a game like Banjo-Kazooie. And that's what I got. A Nintendo 64 style 3D platformer collectathon. I got exactly what I wanted. I don't know what everyone else was expecting.
They're expecting a game that reinvented the wheel, but also gave them exactly what they already wanted.
I guess, and I can understand some complaints, like the camera. While I was easily able to get a hold of it, so I understand where some people might not have. And a lot of the areas in the levels were just there were a good number of empty spaces. But all in all, I still thought it was a pretty good game. In fact, I just got the Switch version today, which they really improved some of the frame rate issues and some of the control issues.
That is good.
Let's see, another great game that came out this year, Sonic Mania.
Oh, is that old school style Sonic?
Absolutely. And boy, was that just a pleasure to play, an absolute pleasure.
That game looked like a lot of fun.
Oh, it absolutely was. That was a great game. That is Sonic done right. And, Sonic doesn't have to be, pixels to work. I mean, you could do a 3D Sonic and understand the principles of good level design and what makes Sonic good, you could do that. Too bad they didn't when it came to Sonic Forces.
Oh, yeah, I've heard mixed things about that one.
That game is like the opposite of how you feel about The Last Jedi.
The opposite. So it's like you only love 20% of it?
I love 20% of it and I hate the rest. Okay, let's start about things I like. I like the idea of the avatar creation. I like that. That's neat. I like the customization options. I like the fact that you have different animals that have different abilities. I like that. I like some of the designs of the level design. I like some of the aspects of it. There's some pretty interesting levels. Like you have a kind of a forest level that's also a casino level. That's pretty interesting. There's some interesting designs. And then we get to the stuff I hate, which is most of it. Why on God's green earth would you make combat areas where you need to defeat enemies, but give the player a weapon that does not run out of ammo? You have a flamethrower weapon that you could just spin around and shoot a flame and just like kill every enemy at once. It's just like, you don't even ever need to change from the flamethrower weapon. You don't ever need to change from that for your custom character. You don't ever need to change. And God, if the level design is not so atrocious and counterintuitive to what they just taught you, this game could teach you a lesson, could teach you a new trick or something, and immediately put you in a situation where using that would be detrimental.
Incredible.
And the 2D Sonic stages, oh my god, those are not just absolute. I absolutely dreaded every time one of those happened. And these stages are just absolutely the opposite of what Sonic is. They're just slow, sluggish, just so badly designed. And okay, so I didn't like the demo of the game. In Japan, they released a demo for the Switch, and I was mad at the demo because they only gave you a minute to play the 3 stages they provided. Literally, just a minute to play it. And I thought, this is terrible. How am I supposed to get an idea of the game if I'm only allowed to play a minute of the stage? Joke's on me. The stages are a minute and 30 seconds. These stages are so incredibly short, and by the time you actually start having fun with a stage and you get to a part that's actually enjoyable, the stage is over. These stages are literally like 2 minutes long.
That's depressing.
And like, this is a game with like 30 main levels, and you can finish the game if you're not even speedrunning. If you're just playing casually, you can finish the game in like 3 hours. You could be done with this game in 3 hours. And then let me tell you about the music. This is another polarizing thing where the music is, sometimes you got some really great tracks. Like I love the main theme, Fist Bump. I love the main theme. It's really, really great. Written and sung by the lead singer of Hoobastank, oddly enough.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, that's really weird, ain't it? But that's who they chose to do their Sonic song. And there's some other great tracks in there, but the rest of the soundtrack is hot flaming garbage, especially the 2D Sonic stages where they got these horrible shitty MIDI instruments that try to replicate classic Sega instruments. And it just like, some of these songs make that one Sonic the Dark Brotherhood song sound like an opera.
A Sonic game with bad music is one of the most disturbing things you can make.
Yeah, and this game, I tried to enjoy it so much. I tried to have fun with this game, trying to justify the $40 I spent on it, and I just couldn't. That has to be one of the most disappointing games of the year for me.
That's just the ultimate tragedy.
Yeah. And of course, another great thing about this year in games was the Switch. The Switch came out this year. We finally got the Nintendo NX.
Yes, the Nintendo Switch. Too
The
bad it
Nintendo
killed
Switch,
Wii U.
which I am so glad I was able to get a Switch.
Where you now?
I mean, I'm so glad I have this thing. It's like there are so many great games on the system. And the system just plays so great. And let's start off with the premier title for the system and the swan song of the Wii U and this year's game of the year, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. What a note for the Wii U to go out on, a system that struggled its entire lifetime, to have such a masterpiece of a game to go out on. This is absolutely great game that was just such a genuine pleasure to play. It's
Zelda
just
Rift.
absolutely, that's one way to describe it. And then you have
Run around.
DLC that came out for it later that I believe absolutely justified the price of $20. The content that we got.
Yeah, can't you ride a motorcycle now?
Oh yeah, they give you a motorcycle as like for beating the DLC dungeon, which I thought, they said DLC dungeon, so I thought they were just going to plop a dungeon on the map and say, "Here you go, here's the dungeon, go do this." No, they make you work to get to that dungeon, which is such a great thing. They give you so many challenges and trials you have to go to be able to even get to the dungeon. And let me tell you, the stuff to do with this DLC pack had so many great bait and switches that really messed with you in the best way. And I literally have no complaints about this game.
None at all.
None at all. Even the breakable weapons, which so many people did not like, I enjoyed because it gives you a real reason to fight enemies because you have such a limited number of weapons that only work for so long. You need to fight more enemies to get their weapons, or else you'll be stick to having to pick up a tree branch to fight an enemy. You have to manage your weapons. You have to make sure that you have enough weapons to take down an enemy. And it also makes you think about your fights before you go into them. Before you go in and rush to fight this giant Cyclops monster, you gotta think, do I have enough weapons to be able to take this down? It really employs strategy, and I enjoy that so much. And then we had another great game that was contender for Game of the Year on the Switch. Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. I want to play both of those games.
You absolutely should if you can ever get the chance.
I just need a Switch.
The whole time I played Super Mario Odyssey, there was a smile on my face. That game just knows how to make you feel happy. My only thing I could say that my only one complaint about that game is while there are a lot of moons to collect, there's just a touch too many. And what I mean is like there's like at least 100 moons that could be cut out of this game, and you would lose nothing because there's so many moons that you get for just picking them up. They're just right there.
So the game is over the moon with moons.
Yeah, there's just some that are right there that are just sitting right there, and there's no real point to getting them. And like those could just be cut out, and the game would not be a lesser experience. And while I do like the idea that like you only need to get like 500 moons to get to the final area of the game, you know, the final challenge, the final stretch.
Yeah.
To get to that final area, you only need 500. I think you only need like 120 to go fight Bowser, 250 to get to the first secret area, and 500 to get to the grand finale. And then and in total there's like 820 moons, I think.
Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, and that gives you the option to play the game. That many moons gives you the option to play the game how you want, to be able to go after the moons you want to go after, to play it at your own pace and find moons at your own pace, which is good. I just feel like they could cut 100 of those moons off, 100 of the ones that are just out in the open off.
Oh yeah, probably.
I'm not saying the game would be better for it, but if you're like one of those people that are compulsory, have to collect everything, that would make your time a little bit better. I mean, like I said, you only need to collect 500 of them to get what I consider to be the full experience. But all in all, it's still a really top game. Then you have Splatoon 2.
Ooh, I want to play that.
Which is just basically Splatoon with more stuff. Splatoon with new stages and new weapons and new supers. It's not, you know, it's like a number of people wanted it to be like they call it like Splatoon Plus as kind of an insult. But I mean, what do you expect from such a finely honed multiplayer game like that?
I guess they were expecting them to just update the original one forever.
Like, what were you expecting? Like an entirely new experience? It's a multiplayer game. I mean, at least they added new stuff, unlike Call of Duty, which just feels like the exact same game over and over. All right, I'm going to get off of Nintendo's dick for a moment.
Just a moment.
Just a moment. I gotta spit out just a moment. Another great game this year, Persona 5.
Persona 5. All my friends love Persona.
I like the series. It's a long and tedious kind of game, but once you get into the swing of it, I mean, it's really good. It feels they're games that I don't really feel you can ever really replay. It's a really great one through game. Persona games, I feel, but that's how I feel about most RPGs, anyways. It's really hard to replay an RPG.
Except Chrono Trigger.
Well, that's because Chrono Trigger is just absolutely amazing.
And it has like 200 endings.
12 endings, 13 if you're playing the DS version.
Okay, so I was slightly off.
Yeah. Okay, can I ask, what the hell is Horizon Zero Dawn?
Is that
because
the one?
I forgot that game existed.
Is that the one about the chick in the post-apocalyptic world and she's like killing robots or something?
I don't have no idea, because this is a game that I only heard slightly of before its release. I heard nothing of it after its release. I heard nobody talk about it or saying anything about the game whatsoever after its release. And then all of a sudden it's nominated for Game of the Year.
I think that might be that game about the chick in the post-apocalyptic. Excuse me. I did hear it was a really good game, but I just feel like there were so many good games that got like huge amounts of hype this year that anything that was really good but not hyped to the heavens is gonna like
Yeah.
slip under the radar a little bit.
Right. Like what's
We
some
got
other good?
2 new Mario games, a new Pokemon game, and a new Zelda. So like Nintendo kind of this year's ass was presented to Nintendo's dick. So even though you hopped off it, Nintendo is still getting fucked.
Oh yeah. What are some other games? Oh, can we talk about Assassin's Creed Origins?
If you want.
That was a game that sure existed.
What's the deal with that one?
It's Assassin's Creed again. It does absolutely nothing new. Assassin's Creed is just one of those yearly franchises, and it just did absolutely nothing new with its new game other than being set in Egypt.
That's a shame.
It
Can
does
you
absolutely nothing new. It's the same thing where all you do is do a shit ton of tailing missions where you have to follow somebody, sneak around, and just follow them for 20 minutes before you get to kill them. And that's literally all you do. It's like a completely unsatisfying game every single time. It's just the same game every single time.
that does sound pretty unsatisfying.
Speaking of unsatisfying, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
What is that? Oh, is that
That's
PUBG?
PUBG.
Yeah, that's the thing I've been hearing so much about and seeing about.
Can I ask how the fuck did a game that was unfinished, still in what early access, get nominated for Game of the Year? Was considered not fully released.
Because people who run these game award shows have severe brain damage.
That's the only thing I can think of because at the time that it was going through Game of the Year awards, the game was still in early access. It still was not considered released. Like just a few days ago, it was brought up to version 1.0 and considered an actual release. So how could something be a Game of the Year when it wasn't even released at the time?
Sheer moxie.
Oh yeah. Another good game this year, Near Automata.
Oh yeah, I forgot that game came out this year. I hear it was really good, but then again, it's a platinum game, so
Platinum's really inconsistent with some of their stuff.
their original works are usually the best ones.
Yeah,
Or
but the problem is nobody buys their original works.
they're cursed. They're just like I was talking about
They're
this with the other guys. They're like Suda 51.
they
They're
release
good
really
games.
good
No
games, and
one.
Sega absolutely refuses to advertise them or market them whatsoever. They're too afraid to market these really great games, and then they end up just flying under the radar.
You think they would have learned from God Hand, but no.
Yeah, it was like so many things. Like Mad World was such a good game.
Yes, it was.
Anarchy Reigns was good. It's just that these games got absolutely zero marketing from Sega. Anarchy Reigns soundtrack is just so great. It was such great music, and nobody appreciates these games. And Near Automata comes out, a sequel to a game that was just flew under the radar as well. The first Near flew under the radar. It was just like a cult hit with a small number of people, and somehow they're able to make a sequel to. Not to mention, Near is a spin-off from another series following a non-canon joke ending.
Ah, yes.
Because Yoko Taro is a crazy man.
What the fuck?
Because Yoko Taro is actually insane. Um, but yeah, and then you got people completely dismissing the game because it's got a girl with a sexy butt.
Ooh.
People absolutely dismiss a game if it has a sexy girl in it because that makes it bad for some reason. Like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, people dismissed it because the girl with the big boobs.
Well, yeah, because it's very realistic. Because when I see big boot, what were you talking about again?
Exactly. But I don't know. It was really, really weird. But one of the games that I liked the most this year, that not too many people have talked about since it came out, and was definitely one of my picks for one of the best games of the year, is A Hat in Time.
That in time, I forgot that even came out. What?
Exactly. Heck, right now it's 20% off in the Steam Winter Sale. Anybody who's watching this right now, go buy A Hat in Time. It is really, really good. It is It's $24 right now instead of 30, or instead of $30, it's $24. Go buy it. This really great 3D platformer game that takes inspiration from the good parts of Super Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Psychonauts. It takes inspiration and builds upon that to make just a really great, charming, fun to play game with excellent movement mechanics.
Everything ukulele should have been.
Everything people wanted from ukulele.
Hell, isn't JonTron actually in Hat in Time?
Oh yeah, they didn't remove the two JonTron voice lines in the game.
Yeah,
And
that's
and that
clearly a brilliant selling point. Yeah, two voice acted lines is something that should make or break a game to you.
Yeah, there's people that can you believe this? There's people out there who are stupid enough to refuse to buy this game simply on the grounds that JonTron is in it.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's just as stupid as the people who want a refund because JonTron wasn't in Ukulele. Or
Yeah, that was dumb too. I mean, I'm sad they removed him, but that didn't make me not want to play the game.
it
But
like it's ultimately inconsequential.
and JonTron's voice in ukulele, literally all it was is just him making the ek noise. That's literally all his dialogue was.
Yeah, and it was just as annoying as the other.
It was just eh.
Yeah, I don't know why people wanted to listen to that.
Yeah, and there's people angry that JonTron is in A Hat in Time where they refuse to buy the game just because he's in it. They refuse to buy it because he's in it. Just 2 lines. He has 2 lines, and guess what? His character is completely optional to talk to. You could
So
go through the entire game and accidentally not talk to this character. In fact, the first time I played through the game, I accidentally didn't talk to that character.
wow,
You can accidentally not talk to this character and it will change nothing.
that's kind of sad.
It's not like he's the one of the main characters or voicing a character you have to talk to repeatedly. He's voicing a character that you don't even have to talk to. That you can
That's
actually walk past and miss.
that's sad.
That is sad. That people want to refuse to buy this excellent game, refuse to play it. In fact, I know some people that pirated the game just so they couldn't give the developers money because of that, which are probably people that would have pirated anyways.
Yeah,
But I know somebody, like one person on that I saw on Tumblr. I think it was. I'm not going to mention any names, but they said that they wouldn't buy the game, but if they were to buy it, they would wait for it to come out on a humble bundle and set the price thing to make sure all the money goes to charity, so that the developers wouldn't get a cent.
that was real sweet of them.
I mean, what the hell? How can you hate a game just because somebody you don't like just has 2 voice lines, 2 optional voice lines.
Some people are just wicked salty like that.
Just absolutely wicked salty. It's mind-boggling. But I mean, are there any games you want to mention,
Um,
Michael?
Sadly, I haven't had a chance to play too many video games this year. I
Oh
did,
yeah, I've noticed you've had some issues.
yeah, sadly, but I did get a chance to play the new Pokemon game, and it is mostly excellent, just like the previous game.
I feel like this game is what Sun and Moon should have been, if you get what I'm
Yes, it
saying.
is. I do have to say though, the story in quite a few places is a lot weaker than the original.
I guess, but I don't know. But it's just a slightly better version of Sun and Moon.
Yeah, but it's also weaker in a few places, particularly the Ultra Beast's place in the story, and Lusamine and her
I guess.
character arc.
I guess. I would say that if you don't have Sun and Moon,
Yeah,
pick up
definitely
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And if you already have Sun and Moon and don't make a lot of money, this is not something that you need.
not at all. Though I'd say,
Unless you play competitively, then you have to switch over to this version.
I mean, this game does have like handful of new Pokemon and features, so like it's worth it no matter what, really.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not a must. If you already have Sun and Moon, it's not a must have.
True.
It's not a must have. I mean, I got it anyways, but it's not a must have. I'll tell you what is a must have for the 3DS. Uh, Metroid Samus Returns.
Oh, I want to play that so bad.
That if I remember correctly, that won handheld of the year.
He probably deserves it from what I've heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, excellent remake of a 2D game that was kind of okay. I mean, much like the original Metroid, the original Metroid 2 is a mess.
So
It's really
like,
messed with the game. It's a game that aged like fine milk.
ew.
I mean, it did not age good. The first 2 Metroids did not age very good, in all honesty. And this is a good remake that brings it more into the modern age. Which
Well,
if I remember correctly, they originally wanted to do a remake of Metroid Fusion,
I would love to see that. Jeez.
and that was their original plan, and they ended up doing Metroid 2, which I hear rumors that since they did Metroid 2, that they might be doing Metroid Fusion next.
Oh, that would be the dream. I would love to see Metroid Fusion with modern graphics and updates.
Oh yeah, which is also why I can't wait for Metroid Prime 4.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that too, but even more excited, Bayonetta 3 is coming.
Oh yeah, and 1 and 2 coming to Switch as well.
The Witch is on the Switch.
Absolutely excellent, man, excellent.
That
Fuck
is
everyone who's salty.
sorry
Who,
that you guys don't know a good exclusive console and game when you see it.
I mean, oh yeah, these people who probably didn't buy Bayonetta 1 when it came out. These people that they only care about Bayonetta because it's on Nintendo, Nintendo
Yep.
exclusive. And you know, don't blame Nintendo. Don't get mad at Nintendo for this. Get mad at the other companies that wouldn't pick up Bayonetta because they didn't want to take the risk. Get mad at them. Get mad at Sony and Microsoft. They didn't want to take the risk, and they went to Nintendo, and Nintendo was like, "Sure, we'll do it. We'll back the money on this."
Well,
And that's how we got. That's the only reason why we have Bayonetta 2.
Amazing.
and why we're getting Bayonetta 3. And, you know, I'm glad that Bayonetta 2, which is really great, I honestly think better than Bayonetta 1.
So do
I honestly think it's better than Bayonetta 1, and I'm glad it's coming to the Switch where more people will be able to play it.
That is a good thing.
Because the Switch already has a higher install base than the entire Wii U lifetime.
That's sad, though. The Wii U was.
I actually did like the Wii U, and I'm sad that it didn't. I blame that in partially part of Nintendo's marketing.
Yeah, Nintendo did not.
They did not market the Wii U as well at all.
I'm just sad that was the last thing Iwata saw before he died, the Wii U failing.
Well, he did help work with the Switch, right?
He did, but he didn't get to live to see it take the world by storm and change the industry. He didn't
Yeah, that's a shame.
To save Nintendo.
Yeah, it is a shame. But I mean, at least the Wii U went out with a high note with Zelda.
Which also kicked off the Switch on a high note, though.
Yeah, so it served two purposes there.
The beginning and the end.
The beginning and the end.
Of a new age.
And so many great games coming to Switch soon that we're getting next year. So much stuff I absolutely cannot wait. I mean, this has actually been a really great year for video games. Not just Nintendo. There's been other great games on other systems that I've heard about. I mean, I can't afford every game system, so I haven't been able to get to all the good stuff that came out on PS4, like Crash Bandicoot Trilogy.
Oh, I wanted to play that so bad, but
other great games, and the two games that came out on Xbox, Game 1 and Game 2. I absolutely could not give less of a shit about Xbox. I heard Destiny 2 was pretty good. I heard Resident Evil 7 was good. I mean, this was a good game. This was a good year for video games.
It was a pretty good year all around for artistic.
Ironically, Star Wars disappointed on both fronts, on both the video games and movies.
Yeah, but at least the movie was good.
Yeah, at least the movie was good as a movie. Battlefront 2 EA is just terrible as a game.
The game's at least divisive. No, sorry, the movie is at least divisive. The game is just considered shit.
Nobody likes it. I mean, did you know at that time they lost EA stock went down like $3 billion because of the controversy over Battlefront 2?
Wow. When a game sucks so much it ruins your stock.
It's just absolutely a mistake. But I mean, they'll learn for next time. You know, when except probably Disney's probably going to pull the license from them.
So I thought 2018 might be a good year coming up. You know, but apparently Mamma Mia 2 is coming out.
Oh.
So you know what? I changed my mind. Let's stay in 2017 forever.
We gotta move on soon. We gotta move on anyways, Michael. We gotta keep pushing forward. We have to keep pushing forward.
Mamma Mia 2. I don't know if I can handle this.
Next year we're getting Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 on the Switch, so we gotta go to 2018, man. We gotta go to 2018.
Fair enough.
But I guess, you know, as far as everything goes, that was this year in movies and video games. I mean, honestly, for both, we had pretty good years.
Couple of problems here and there, but you know.
I think my family's drunk. They can't respect that I'm doing a live recorded show. I am doing a live recorded show.
They don't care.
They absolutely could not care less.
They thrive on chaos.
Absolutely. But as I was saying, this has been a great year for both video games and movies, and I hope 2018 is even better.
We got 2018's got quite a few good superhero movies coming out in it.
Oh yeah, we're getting Infinity War Part 1.
Yes, and Black Panther.
Oh yeah, Black Panther.
Oh, and Aquaman comes out next year.
Oh. I don't know. I'm very, very weary of DC movies.
It's directed by the same guy who did the original Saw movie.
I don't know. I'm very, very cautious when it comes to DC. I mean, the last good DC movie we had was Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but that was this year.
I know.
Have you seen the cast for fucking motherfucking Aquaman? This is
I mean,
great.
who we got?
We got Black Manta up in this bitch.
Oh, nice. Who's he being played by?
He's being played by Yahya Abdul Mateen II.
Okay.
This is his first movie.
Wow.
Oh no, wait. This is not his first movie. I was looking at the wrong thing. He was in the Baywatch movie, it looks like.
Oh no.
He was Sergeant Ellerby.
Oh
Whatever the
no.
fuck that was.
Oh,
And he
no.
was in the show The Get Down. I think I heard that show was good.
Oh no. I mean, I'm very weary. I'm very cautious about it because it was such a long time before a previous good DC movie. I mean, what was the last good DC movie before Wonder Woman?
I would say Suicide Squad because I enjoy stupid movies.
Well, okay, movies are actually good.
I mean, Man of Steel was good. People really gave that movie too much shit.
Go away! Go away! I'm doing a live show! Seriously, please. Anyways, yeah, I mean, Man of Steel, like a lot of people refer to it, Man of Murder.
Like, do people not realize that Superman's dead people, like,
Oh my god. He's sticking. I have a dog door in my bedroom door so the dogs can get in here to get water. And he's sticking a long, kind of like a
tube?
paper towel tube
Yeah,
through the dog door and just yelling through it.
that's obnoxious.
You see the shit I have to deal with?
That's depressing.
That is depressing. Anyways. But yeah, I mean, Man of Steel I thought was actually, yeah, it was pretty good.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like
But how long ago was that?
that was like 2012, I think. Jeez.
Yeah, so 5 years since the last good DC movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Everything after that has been very divisive until Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, so I'm extremely cautious about Aquaman. But hey, we're also getting next year, aren't we getting
Pacific Rim 2?
Pacific Rim 2, which I'm also kind of cautious about.
Well, I think John Boyega is the right guy to grab.
Oh, John Boyega is a great actor. Do not get me wrong at all.
That guy.
He is a great actor. I'm just saying because it's not directed by Guillermo del Toro, and I'm not a fan of the person directing it now.
Let's see, who is it? It is Stephen S. DeKnight. What is he known for? He produced Daredevil.
The show or the original movie?
The show.
Oh well, yeah.
and he produced Angel and Spartacus and Smallville.
Eh.
He did direct one episode of Daredevil, a couple episodes of Smallville, a few episodes of Angel, and let's see, the episode of Daredevil he directed is a very highly ranked episode. It's the season finale. He directed the season finale of Daredevil.
Well, I mean,
First season finale. On Dollhouse, he directed one episode. I'm looking at it.
I just feel like, I don't know. That's why I'm saying I'm cautious about it. I'm just cautious about Pacific Rim 2. What other Marvel movies are we getting next year?
I am not sure. I'm gonna look at. Oh, I found someone's IMDb list of 2018 movies. Let's see. Oh, Tomb Raider's coming out.
Oh, that's another movie that I'm cautious about.
Hellboy is coming out.
Yeah.
Untitled Deadpool sequel comes out.
Oh yeah. Well, I enjoyed the first Deadpool, so this might be
Yeah,
good.
I'm not worried about that one. That one looks like it'll probably be even better.
Hopefully.
Jurassic World is coming out next year.
Oh yeah, the second Jurassic World movie, yeah.
A new Predator movie. Wait. Okay, there's a new Predator movie coming out, but it's saying it's a remake of the original, which I haven't heard anything about that. They can't be remaking the original. Like,
oh no. Oh yeah, I think they're trying to build up for another Alien versus Predator.
Let's hope it's a little more exciting than the last Alien versus Predator movie they did. And no, I'm not talking about the first one. I'm talking about fucking shitty ass Requiem.
Oh gosh.
The original Alien versus Predator was pretty good. Second one was
what the fuck was that?
Jeez. Pregnant woman exploded.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just really hoping for next year to be a good year for movies.
Dark Phoenix. That one has a lot of potential.
I mean, I'm not the biggest movie guy, but I mean, I really hope that we get some good movies next year.
Oh, we're getting a biopic about Queen.
Oh. And I'm really hoping for next year to be another good year for games.
We can only hope.
We can only hope. Well, thank you for anybody who's actually listening, for joining us through this tour of 2017 in movies and games.
Holy shit, Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out next year. I had no idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And of course, the most controversial movie of next year is going to be Ready Player One. Can't wait to.
God.
People are going to be fucking.
You know, the most apt thing I could think of is that one scene from that episode of Family Guy where Stewie and Brian are traveling to other dimensions, and they end up in the robot chicken dimension, and like Chris is sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden walk in characters like, look, look, Thundercat, Transformers, He-Man, G.I. Joe, those shows existed.
That's not what the book is like. I'm kind of annoyed that people seem to think that's what the book was like.
That's exactly what the book was like. It was constant references to things. He spent a whole page talking about his awesome car, his awesome 80s car. Like, oh, it's a DeLorean, a Back to the Future DeLorean with some Ghostbusters logos stuck on it.
It was like maybe a paragraph at most.
Not to mention the fact that the author actually owns that car. He was just bragging about his actual car he owns.
Okay, but if you had that car, I'm pretty sure you'd brag about it too.
Don't forget that he writes everything Japanese. He writes it phonetically. He writes it out phonetically. Even English words like Ultraman, he writes out as Ultraman.
I mean, the book is told from the point of view of a complete and total shut-in who has no human interaction outside of video games and 80s pop culture, which he is based.
Don't forget they talk about an Asian kid's brother committing seppuku, even though it was completely a non-sword related death.
Again, this is a story told from the point of view of a complete socially awkward shut-in who has never had human interaction outside of an 80s pop culture infested video game world. I don't expect him to talk like a normal human being.
Don't forget the many paragraphs about masturbation.
First of all, I don't remember more than the one that people keep throwing around out of context.
He mentioned masturbation a few times.
Yeah, and again, I don't know how many times
Listen, the book honestly is mediocre at best.
I liked it. I thought it was a really good book.
I do like the message of about escapism. I do like that. But I mean,
honestly, if anyone could milk something really good out of that book, whatever anyone's feelings are on it, it's Steven Spielberg, because Steven Spielberg could milk a rock and produce 12 Oscars.
I don't know. I mean, this movie is really going to be a make or break film. It's either going to be good or shit.
Considering who's directing it, I think it's going to be good. I've never seen a movie Spielberg's directed that was disappointing.
I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it. Is all I'm saying.
People always go on about AI, but AI was mostly Kubrick's movie as it is.
Yeah. I don't know, but I mean, here's to all the great movies and games we've had this year, and hopefully good movies and games next year. Hopefully, geez.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And can we please get more good action cartoons on TV, please?
And can we please stop trusting video game Kickstarters?
Oh. I mean, there's been some good Kickstarter games. There's been some good ones.
Shame most of them make us cry like an anime fan on prom.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. And don't forget the absolute scams.
The what?
The absolute scams where they just take the money and run.
Oh yes.
Don't forget Unsung Story where the development team got like $600,000 and just took the money and ran.
Or that one ant simulating game.
Oh yeah, that was another one where they just took the money and ran. And the thing is like
hookers.
I mean, like the Unsung Story was funded in 2013, and like development posts like trickled throughout from 2013 all the way until the game was canceled in 2016. Canceled without anybody being told until they found out that the game was bought by another developer who've promised to act. They're starting from scratch because they barely had any usable material to work with. They're starting from scratch and working on their own to actually finish this game, to actually make it. But man, yeah, here's to hopefully a good future, man.
Let's hope. We can
only hope, and well, that's about where we're going to cut it off, people. Thank you for joining us. Oh my God, will you leave? Good night, everybody.
Good night. Wait. Good night. Ooh.